Yes, good evening everyone. Welcome to Lukmaan IAS. This is DTRS session, Daily Takkar Rapid Series. In this lecture series, daily we are discussing 10 quality MCQs based on today's current affairs, and this is class 106. Today's lead topic is UNESCO's creative cities. We know that the Gwalior and Kozhikode, they are added as a creative cities in the UNESCO's creative cities list recently, and based on that we have framed the first MCQ and the other 9 MCQs on relevant 9 topics which are in news. So let's talk about first today's quotation. We are daily discussing one quotation before discussing these 10 MCQs. It is helping us to prepare for mains examination, UPSC mains examination also, especially essay and ethics. So today's quotation goes like this: the greatest use of a life is to spend it on something that will outlast it. The greatest use of life is to spend it on something that will outlast it. Yes, the greatest use of life we are talking. What we do in life, it is very important, it matters. And when we say what we do in life, when we say it matters, the greatest use of these things that we are doing in life is something that when we spend that time while doing something important. What is that important? That will outlast the life itself. So we live for 60, 70 years or 80 years. So how we can outlast that life, the time period? So that means we will be remembered, or our contribution will be remembered for so many years to come in future. So the great personalities, why they are still remembered? Great people, like for example Mahatma Gandhi, Tagore, or Abraham Lincoln, or even we call great Ashoka, Akbar the Great, or Buddha. Why we remember these people? Why they are called as great? Because they spent their most of the life on something that outlasted their life, something important, more important, and that is largely we can say that ultimately serve the humanity, one way or other way, to serve the people, to serve the humanity. Vivekananda, greatest service we can say that we can have is service to the men. Service to men is service to God. Vivekananda. So then only we will be remembered for years to come. Okay, to serve the people, to serve the humanity. So of course it is the altruistic let's say philosophy, or simply we can say those who go beyond the self-interest, public interest, people's interest. So those who try to satisfy this interest, fulfill this interest, they will be remembered. Throughout your lifetime you should be working on this particular goal, aim in your life. तभी वो हम बोल सकते हैं कि you will be remembered forever. ठीक है? So we remember the people not because of their, let's say, talent. ये एक चीज आपको याद रखनी है हमेशा. The people are not largely remembered for the talent, the success that they had in their career. Rather, the people are always remembered their values, character. Those people who have these both, they are always remembered. ठीक है? So largely this one, like for example cricket. So why we appreciate largely Sachin Tendulkar? There are many records that other cricketers have done. ठीक है? Even let's say far better than Sachin Tendulkar. But despite of achieving these great heights, he is more humble. He is more humble. He has humility in personality. He has good values, character. So we can say that that person is more respected, honored, and remembered. Right? So one should always focus on building strong character, strong value system in their personality, instead of running behind this. Although talent or let's say aptitude is inbuilt, but one runs behind this. This is the problem that we see today in our society. ठीक है. The people who work on these things, they are basically remembered for long. Yes, you can either way interpret this. Let's now move on to today's 10 MCQs. These are the 10 MCQs. Let's discuss them one by one. What should be the answer to this? UNESCO's Creative City List. This list was created in 2004, and several cities around the world, around 300 cities around the world have become the part. Like in India, these are some of the examples. In past, Jaipur, Srinagar, they have been added. Now recently, Kozhikode from Kerala and Gwalior from MP have been also added. There are total 7 such categories of creative field through which it is decided. 7 such categories. Okay. So Srinagar, crafts and folk art. This is correctly matched. Jaipur, literature. One can think like that because there is literature festival in Jaipur every year, but this is not correct. Rather, it is also, let's say, included in the category of crafts and folk art. Okay, Jaipur, it is famous for crafts and we can say art. So this is incorrect. This is correct. Kozhikode, gastronomy. Gastronomy is related to cooking. Okay, it is related to cooking. So we can say this is incorrect. Why? Because Kozhikode is added with the category of literature. Okay, so this is incorrectly matched. Gwalior, music. Yes, so Gwalior Gharana of music. So of course that is very famous, right? Classical music. So this is correctly matched. 2 are correctly matched. Only 2. B is the correct answer. Fine. Online students, give your answers in the comment box. Let's try to solve the second question. Okay, crab plover. It is basically species of water bird. It is the only shore bird that lays eggs in self-excited burrows of sandbanks. This is true. Factually, this is correct. It has been categorized as endangered species. Now, this is factually incorrect. Least concern, IUCN status. Then it is one of the species to which AWA, that is Agreement on Conservation of African and Eurasian Migratory Water Birds, applies. This is true. This AWA basically is agreement under the aegis of CMS and UNEP, Convention on Migratory Species, United Nations Environment Program. Okay, they are implementing this particular agreement. African and Eurasian migratory water birds. So this is one route. We know that from Siberia to Africa, Africa to back Siberia, migratory birds, migratory route. So that's why the conservation. So we can say this is correct, this one is incorrect, this is correct. So B is the correct answer here. B is the correct answer. Fine. Okay, let's move on to next question. International Solar Alliance. Yesterday also we discussed one MCQ. International Solar Alliance. This was launched in 2015 by India and France on the sidelines of Paris Summit. COP21. COP, Conference of Parties. 21. Right, COP21, Paris. Okay. So it is having its headquarters in Gurugram, India, Haryana. Okay. And at present around 120 members are there roughly. Okay. So remember this. It has been convened at Bharata Mandapam in New Delhi. So there was this 6th assembly of ISA recently held in India. This is true. It has increased the viability gap funding cap for solar projects. The decision was taken from 25% to 50%. Now this is not correct. Factually it is incorrect. Rather earlier it was 10% and this has been increased to 35%. This has been increased to 35%. This is incorrect. So that's why answer is 1 only. The outcome of that summit you should be knowing. Assembly you should be knowing. Okay, fine. Next, particular disease, scabies. Okay, so scabies basically it is a kind of infection, but this infection is parasitic infection, not fungal infection. It is parasitic. So parasitic एक टाइप का माइट होता है, उसके बाइट्स होते हैं और वो एक्चुअली अपने स्किन पे होल करके उसमें ले करता है एग्स उनके. Okay, so it is not the fungal infection, rather it is parasitic infection. It is caused by poor hygiene Not necessarily, rather it can be caused by skin to skin contact simply by the infected person. It can be caused by skin to skin contact by infected. So crowded, let's say people living in crowded areas, traveling in a crowded transports. So or the vulnerable let's say age groups are children and aged people living in old age homes. They are more vulnerable, not because of this. Yes, ivermectin is a kind of tablet that is given for treatment of scabies. This is true. This is incorrect. This is incorrect. So only one. It is A is the correct answer. Disease based question generally they ask from the science and technology part, biology. ठीक है? Okay. You can see this Malawi battles outbreak of scabies. This is how it looks like. It's dangerous. ठीक है? हाँ. LCH Prachand light combat helicopter. It is world's only attack helicopter that can land and take off at the altitude of 5,000 meters. This is true. It is India's first multi-role combat helicopter developed by Bharat Dynamics Limited. BDL नहीं है, HAL, Hindustan Aeronautic Limited. ठीक है, so this is incorrect. It uses radar absorbing material to lower radar signature. This is true. So to reduce the detectability, so it absorbs the radar of the enemy country, let's say country or enemy, we can say the radar absorbing material use करता है. So this is correct. This is incorrect. This is correct. So B is the correct answer about LCH Prachand. So defense technology से question आ रहे हैं, so we can expect such kind of let's say new developments asked in the prelims examination. Places in news or regions in news. Which of the following countries recently became the world's first country to sterilize and vaccinate the entire dog population? Okay, so recently it is in news. ठीक है, तो क्या होना चाहिए इसका आंसर? डॉग स्टरिलाइजेशन. कौन से ऑप्शन है? सेचिलीज, सिंगापुर, मालदीव्स एंड भूटान. राइट. सो रिसेंटली भूटान बिकेम द फर्स्ट कंट्री इन द वर्ल्ड टू वैक्सीनेट. ठीक है, भूटान. डी इज द करेक्ट आंसर. It's unique, so that's why we are asking this. A is the correct answer. Fine. Now CAR T therapy, earlier also we have discussed one chimeric anti we can say this particular technology especially to treat cancer. So it is basically improving your immune system. By how it is improving immune system? By taking out T cells from the human body, and they are genetically further modified and further inserted. ठीक है, genetically modified and further inserted to improve the immune system. T cells are part of white blood cells, we can say. So it involves altering genes inside red blood cells. बोल रहा है. This is incorrect. In this therapy, the immune system recognizes foreign substances called as receptors and destroy it. The term is incorrect. Receptors are basically by T cells. These receptors of T cells are bound to the antigens. These antigens are released by the foreign particles. ठीक है, तो उसको bind करता है, and then the alert is provided to, we can say, immune system of the body. So this is incorrect. This is incorrect. We can say that D is the correct answer. Neither one nor two. ठीक है. India's own CAR T therapy. Recently the procedure was approved, right? So that's why it is in news. Okay, so particular region that is in news, Dagestan region. Dagestan region is small independent region of Russia. Recently in news, does not share boundary with which one of the following? Does not share boundary with which one of the following? So you can see that it is the Armenia with which it does not share border. बाकी तीनों कंट्री और सी के साथ में वो बॉर्डर शेयर करता है. So C is the correct answer. So immediately locate on the map Dagestan region, and that's why you should be ready with let's say mapping aspects, places in news, regions in news. This is the region. Okay, so here the Caspian Sea is there, Georgia is located, Armenia is to the interiors, Azerbaijan is located here. ठीक है, तो you should be knowing its location. ठीक है, moving on. Gentiana Kuru. Okay. The plant Gentiana kuru, it is endemic to western Himalayas. This is true. Medicinal value for various acute and chronic diseases. Those, let's say, plants which are having some kind of medicinal values. In past, UPSC has asked question on this. Okay. So we should be ready with that. Himalayas are having such medicinal herbs. This is listed as critically endangered by IUCN. This is also true. All three statements about this plant species is true. And this it was news because of it is threatened. ठीक है, तो इसीलिए ये न्यूज में था. ऑलमोस्ट एक्सटिंक्ट हिमालयन प्लांट विथ मेड वैल्यूज ब्लूम्स अगेन. ठीक है, सो दैट्स व्हाई इट इज इन न्यूज. ओके, लास्टली द एनिमल इन न्यूज, एनिमल स्पीसीज ढोल. ठीक है, सो कंसिडर द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट्स. नेटिव कैनिड स्पीसीज ऑफ इंडिया. सो ढोल आर नॉट नेटिव टू इंडिया. ठीक है, तो ये कहाँ के हैं नेटिव? अफ्रीका. So yes, they are native to Central, South and East and Southeast Asia. Pardon me. ठीक है, not Africa, Asia. So not endemic to, we can say, India specifically. So we can say it is incorrect. It has more teats and or mammaries than the other canid species. This is true. Basically, teats are, we can say that the kind of मैमरी, जहाँ पे मैमरी ग्लैंड्स होता है, जहाँ पे बेबीज फीड करते हैं सिंपली. तो वी कैन से दैट इज द नंबर ऑफ ट्रीट्स मोर इन दिस पर्टिकुलर कैनिड स्पीसीज एज कंपेयर टू अदर कैनिड स्पीसीज. इट इज द क्रिटिकली एंडेंजर्ड स्पीसीज. हाँ, ये इनकरेक्ट है, ओनली एंडेंजर्ड. ठीक है, ये इनकरेक्ट है IUCN स्टेटस. वी कैन से A इज द करेक्ट आंसर अबाउट दिस. द यूनिकनेस ऑफ दिस ढोल इज दैट yes, it is spread in almost all India except northwestern part of India. But uniqueness is that it does not share antagonistic relation with tiger. Okay, they are living, let's say, in same territory, dhole and tigers. So that's why it is good thing that both species are flourished there in that particular region. Okay, so we can say that here A is the correct answer. These are today's 10 MCQs. You can see the spread of dhole northwest छोड़ के बाकी जगह पे सभी तरफ पे पाए जाते हैं. Fine. Okay. Any question? ठीक है, let us stop. Okay.